What is going on, everybody? Dad Tech TV coming back with another video, and today we're talking about all of the costs associated with buying a brand new ATV. So if you're like me, you're kind of in quarantine because of this whole coronavirus thing. You're sitting at home after work, you have some free time, you're on the internet because you're not going anywhere, and you're kind of thinking about things that you want to buy, a side-by-side, an ATV, a car, whatever it is. And when you're looking at the website, you're seeing a price, and then you go to the dealer, the price is definitely going to be a little bit different. This has happened to me before, and it happened to a buddy of mine just recently. So this is the same for any ATV, whether it's Polaris, Can-Am, Yamaha, whatever it is, right? You're always going to find these additional costs that you don't see on the website once you show up to the dealer. But since I have a Polaris, since a buddy of mine was looking at a Polaris and went to a Polaris dealer recently, we're going to take a look at their website and then kind of go over costs afterwards. I did create a spreadsheet that we're going to go through to kind of help us with the cost of what we need and to see what our total cost is really going to be. So on the Polaris site, we're going to go up, going to go to our shopping tools, and we're going to look at our special offers. So on our special offers right now, this is where any rebates are going to be. So on the 2024 50 and 570, you have a $700 rebate, which seems pretty good. I mean, that's not the best. I've seen 1,000, I've seen over 1,000, but right now it's at $700, and that's pretty good, right? And then it says financing as low as 3.99% for 36 months. Of course, that's based on your credit, but we're going to remember those numbers, right? We're not going to look at the 850 because it's only a $300 rebate right now. We're going to look at the 570, $700 rebate, 3.99%. It's 36 months. So let's go back to our vehicles. Let's get to the Sportsman 570 and let's check out, I don't want the base model. Let's take a look at the 570 EPS. So we can see that the starting price right here, it says 7,799, right? So let's click on that. 7,799 MSRP. I like the gray. I'm going to build. Now the interesting thing here is that as soon as you click on build and we look at our price on the bottom left as configured, the $7,799 immediately changed to $7,099. So it took off basically the $700 rebate. And it says per month you're only paying $100 a month, $104, but let's say $100 per month. Hey, that's great. You know, I can really get into this. That's no problem. So let's click on there. And you can see it's actually 7,799 with a rebate of 700. Now this doesn't make sense because most states you're going to pay taxes on the ATV and taxes come before the rebate. So this is not going to be the real price. At least for most places. I don't know if there's any states where you don't pay tax on ATV, but I know definitely in my state you do. In most states you do. They also do a down payment here, so they want $1,065 on the down payment, and then it's showing a 7.49% interest, which is way higher than a 3.99 at a 72-month term. Right? So we're going to leave that as is because this is the number that they want you to see to be like, hey, you know, I can really get into this for pretty cheap. I'm happy with it. But you want to know what? We also want to add a couple accessories. So a lot of people are looking at the plow systems. We're going to take a look at the Glacier Pro HD60. If you look here, it's $1249.96. We'll just call it $1250. We're going to click add. There it is. Now it says as configured $8,349 at $123 per month. That still seems super cheap, right? So here we get our price. $7,799 was the starting price. As configured $8,348.96. But again, if you click on here, MSRP is actually $9,048 with the $700 rebate and a $1,253 down payment with the 7.49% interest at 72 months to get that $123 price. Now, don't forget to look at the tiny writing at the bottom. It says plus a $425 destination charge and setup. So we're going to remember these numbers. We're going to go over to my spreadsheet. And we're going to look at everything as MSRP for right now. So the 7,799, right, was the original price. We said it was $1250 for the accessories. Now, what they don't have in there is that a lot of dealers are going to charge you a fee to set up those accessories, especially with the plow and winch, the plow mount and everything. So there's different charges. This is somewhat negotiable, but as a standard, you know, let's just put based on a buddy of mine who recently was at the dealer. You know, we'll put in $300, and what they quoted him was a little bit more than that, but $300, let's put it in. to see what these costs come out to be. Now, my buddy also didn't have a trailer that he could get right away. So he said, hey, can you deliver this thing for me? And they said, yeah, that's absolutely no problem. The problem is that then they added a delivery charge that they didn't tell him about. They just said, yeah, we can do it. But they didn't say, hey, it's going to cost you $100. So we're going to add in the 95 that he had on there. And then they talked about an extended warranty. He was looking at the 5-year extended warranty. And at 5 years, they wanted $800, which seems pretty reasonable. I know that a lot of people have different thoughts about the extended warranty, but $800 for 5 years to me seems justifiable if you want the extended warranty. And now we have the manufacturer's freight. So this was that $425 fee in the tiny writing at the bottom. And then there's also a dealer setup fee. Now, this is also somewhat negotiable. I've seen some places say, hey, my dealer doesn't charge a fee. Other ones, it's like $200, $300. Now, this number I had to kind of look at twice, but this dealer was charging a fee of $595. So this dealer setup fee is basically them unpacking it, putting whatever pieces, the small pieces that need to be put together, configuring it, making sure everything's okay, putting oil in it, starting it up, making sure it runs. Basically, their setup of pulling it, out of the crate and getting it going for you. Then on top of that, there's one more fee that we saw, and that's the document fee. So this number was the only one that wasn't written onto the contract. It was already on the contract. It was a set fee. This one does not seem to be negotiable, at least in our state, and that was $198. So now your $7,799 base becomes, with the accessories of $1,250. With all the additional fees of what this dealer wanted, actually came out to be $11,462. And now this is before negotiating on anything else, but this was just the standard fees. $11,462. This is before taxes. So if you have something you're going to trade in, your trade-in value is going to come off that price before the taxes. So that's good, but nothing for us to trade in right now. I have these other columns so you can kind of play around based on what you're doing. But, our total taxable price was still $11,462. So in our state, the tax is 6.625%. So I have this up here. If you change this here, it changes for all of these. But for this specifically, $11,462, taxable rate of 6.625% is an additional $760. So our subtotal now is $12,221.36. Now I know we said that we had a $700 rebate, and you said, hey, why don't you take it off like they did on the website? Well, that's because the rebate comes off after taxes, after everything is added on, after everything is taxed, then the rebate comes off. So now your $700 rebate comes off, and you're at $11,521.36 out the door. That's your out the door price. If you're going to pay right there, pay cash, write a check, that's what your actual out the door price is. Not that $9,000, not the $8,000 that's on the website. This is the real price that would be given to you at some of the dealers in my area. But if you're going to finance this thing, this is not the final number. So money down, let's say we want to put $0 down, right? We're going to finance the full $11,521 at an interest rate. So they said that you could get a 3.99%. Now this is based on how good of a credit you have, but 3.99% at 36 months. So your loan payments are going to be $340 a month for a total payments and total cost of $12,243.78. So this is how you get the real number of what you're really paying. And this is if you haven't negotiated anything. So let's say you're a shrewd negotiator, they have a special going on, and let's say you get it down $1,000, so you're at $6,799, right? Let's say they give you a discount on accessories. $250, let's say it's $1,000, right? And, these are just, how can I negotiate? What can I talk about? I don't know what you can actually negotiate. It depends on your dealer. It depends on the time of year. It depends on the day. It depends on the salesman. It depends on so many different things. So let's just say, we're at that's 1,000. And the accessory install fee. Now, this is probably an area where you can kind of negotiate a little bit more because this is based on what they're charging for their labor to do the accessory install. So let's say we cut that in half. And then we have our delivery charge. Let's say you picked it up, you don't need to get it delivered. Extended warranty stays the same. Manufacturer's freight stays the same because that's from the manufacturer. A dealer setup fee. Now, this is something that I heard is extremely negotiable. I've heard some dealers don't charge you anything. I think I mentioned that before. So let's say we get it down to, $100. And then our document fee was the same no matter what. So this makes a huge difference, right? So now we're at 9,472, right? Trade-in value still, we're going to do 0. Total taxable price, right? Now your taxes are only $627. So this is where, these are the numbers you want to negotiate, because this is where you want to get it down. I mean, your manufacturer's rebate is going to be your manufacturer's rebate no matter what, right? But this is where you need to negotiate. You need to talk about the actual price of the unit. You need to talk about how much you're paying for the accessories, what kind of, prices they have on that, what they can do for you, along with their install fee. Basically their install fee is up to them, what they charge, what's their labor rate, how much time did it take them to do it. So they can kind of play around with that number. Delivery obviously is something you can negotiate. The warranty, I don't know how negotiable that is. I've heard that the 5-year warranty, some places have been trying to get over $1,000. I think $800 is reasonable. I don't know how much lower you can get it than that. I haven't seen too many people talk about getting it lower than that. Manufacturer's freight, from my understanding, this is pretty standard. This is what they charge you. This is what Polaris charges. That's it. Dealer setup fee, huge negotiation, right? And that's based on the dealer. And then your document fee, I said, was standard, right? So this is where you need to negotiate your numbers to get your dollars down. Because now we can see, again, if we do $0 down, let's say you still got that 3.99 at 36 months. This is where it's going to make a big difference, because now your loan payment is $277 a month and your total cost is really $9,988. That's with $0 down. You can play around and see, I want to put $1,000 down. Now it's $247. But this is where you can compare also. Hey, this is MSRP. This is what I think the best I can do is. Some of the other interesting things is, let's take these numbers again. I'm gonna copy these. Oop. Let's copy these. We're gonna put them over here, so it's the same. Extend that out a little bit. Value 0. Now, one of the things I saw is manufacturer rebate. I saw a $1,000 manufacturer rebate with a 0% money down. Now, this is the interesting part when you go in and you find out it's either a $1,000 manufacturer rebate or the 0%. So $1,000 back at 3.99% for 36 months, right? Is $331, total out the door price $11,924. Or you take no rebate with a 0% interest rate, and now you're at $12,221. So why would they do that? Well, that's because depending on how good your credit is and what you can actually get, you might get that $1,000 manufacturer rebate, but you might be at that 7.49%. Right, and then you're going to have to extend it to your 72 months. But these are all the numbers you can play with. So this is the different things I wanted to show you guys, that there are a lot of additional fees that dealers can hit you with. Some will try to hit you with them. And I read these forums, I read Facebook, and I see a lot of these guys, oh man, I can get a 450 for like $3,000 out the door. And it's like, okay, that's not happening, right? But I do know that depending on the area that you live in, you're going to see a lot of fluctuation in these numbers. You might not have to deal with some of this stuff, but in other areas you're paying, high fees. And it really depends. Do you live in the Northeast? Do you live in the Southwest? Do you live on the West Coast, the East Coast? It really depends. The Midwest, it's different everywhere. So I just wanted to kind of get these numbers out there and see some of the things that you might be hit with. And so that going into that shop, buying a brand new ATV, what should I be looking to negotiate? What's going to be on that contract that, hey, I negotiated this price down $1,000, I'm paying $6,799, but I didn't negotiate the accessory install fee. I didn't negotiate the dealer setup fee, and now all of a sudden it's a much higher fee than I thought it was going to be. So these are the things to talk about with the salesperson once you sit down and start talking numbers. Say, hey, let's talk about the price of the unit, and then let's talk about these other fees. And then see, you know, once they write it up, they have to show you the contract. So make sure you look at all the different line items, find what you need to, and get it where you want it. But also know that a lot of times that whatever you see on this site, it's going to be a little bit different once you show up. So I hope that this video gave you guys a good idea of some of the things that you need to look for. I'm not saying, you know, I call them hidden fees. They're not really hidden fees. They're just fees that you need to be aware of going into this. Otherwise, you're going to show up and you're going to be so excited and you're going to end up paying more than you thought you were going to pay. And I just want to make sure that you're happy with those additional costs, or that you know to negotiate those additional costs to really get it down to where you really want it. So I hope you guys have a great day. Hit the subscribe button. I'm going to have more coming out. I have some updates coming out on my Garmin watch. I have an update on some other stuff, so my Nest install, and then we can talk more about some of my other tech stuff, and then of course more ATV stuff coming out too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I look forward to chatting with you again.